In my opinion, I feel that in Lord of the Flies, peer pressure commonly occurs when Jack is involved. One area where we see this is when, in Chapter 7, the boys are hunting for the beast, as they like to call it, and Ralph decides that it's getting too dark for them to go on, but Jack, wanting the leadership role, pressures Ralph in front of everybody, saying, "Oh, keep going, come on, it's gonna be fine, let's just go, the two of us." And Ralph, wanting to keep his leadership and fitting in with the hunters and everything, decides that he'll go, even though it could be an extremely dangerous situation for him. So I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think that was a really good example because I think that it really shows the pressure and how much it affects Ralph, where he's willing to do anything just to be accepted again by the group.
Yeah.
It seems that Ralph is always the one who tries to fit in. In this chapter, Shadows and Tall Trees, they're hunting and looking for the beast, and everyone is kind of caught up in reenacting their hunt and killing the beast. And so Ralph, carried away by a sudden thick excitement, grabbed Eric's spear and jabbed at Robert with it like he's the beast. And so I think that Ralph did that just to show that he could fit in, and he was kind of an outsider watching them because he's not that hunter type and he never really was. So doing that just helped him fit in.
Yeah, I definitely think that Ralph is really kind of threatened by Jack and the hunters because his leadership position is getting taken away by him. So I think he's deciding to deal with that by just giving in to what they're doing and putting himself in not as good of situations as he should be.
So there's a lot of peer pressure in the destructors naturally because gangs have big egos. And so the biggest example was Trevor, and he felt like that he couldn't really talk or participate. He didn't have the right because he didn't have a cool defined name like the rest of the boys, and so he just went by T only when he had to. And so he felt like that he needed to fit in and use one of those names, and so that's an example of the mob mentality.
It was a really good example, and I think that it really shows how desperately he wants to be a part of this group and how that mentality affects his decisions and what he chooses to do.
I actually found a similar peer pressure situation that was mentioned in an NPR article, and the quote is, "There's new research that shows that students desperately want to fit in with their peers, and if their peers are not motivated, this can affect the academic choices that students make."
In our school especially, I've seen people that will pick up or drop classes based on things that they've heard, but they haven't actually experienced, so they do things not at their best interest.
I've also heard of students dropping classes or changing classes just to be with their friends and not really focusing on the main point of getting an education.